Welcome to my YouTube channel. Enjoy the video. Today we went to Dogwood Canyon.
No. Because they still don't have packers. It's too much for my house. I'm not afraid of snakes anymore. He's exploring, looking around. I don't know if it's a he. We didn't get anything.
The walls are short-leaf pine and the floor is rough sawn oak. Everything, of course, is from the Ozarks. These pine logs actually came off the property here. Inside, the pews come out of Atlanta, Georgia Church. They're over 100 years old, and they seat 120 people. It's nice and cool in there, too. It's cool. See if the air conditioning works. Feels good today, though, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah, that's not bad.
We had a heat wave here last month. It was awful.
Oh, yeah.
110 degrees out here a couple.
Oh, wow. You know, Mom, if we had church here, I wouldn't even be listening to the pastor. I'd just be looking at the waterfall.
So, like I said, the pews come on the Atlanta, Georgia Church. Right there's a little Indian Creek. We actually have 3 creeks on the property. Back at the parking lot is Hawks Creek. It comes down the mountain from 4 miles away. 2 ponds on top of the hill are spring-fed, and they start Hawks Creek. This right here is a little Indian Creek. It turns left, goes south 6 miles. Big old spring bowls up beside the county road called Nathan Hell Spring. Happens to be my in-laws' ancestral spring. I swim in that one right now 3 or 4 times a week. It's that close to the house. Anyhow, that starts the little Indian Creek. We're actually going to drive to that creek for about 3 miles here in a little while. Dogwood Creek starts 3 miles south of us here. Big old spring on top of the mountain, and a pond overflows and starts Dogwood Creek. Altogether, we have 32 natural springs that feed our creeks. The water stays between 55 and 65 degrees year-round, which is a perfect living habitat for the rainbow trout. And we dump 54 million gallons of water a day into Table Rock Lake. Now the water is a blue-green color because of the Ozarks. The Ozarks is made up of calcite and dolomite limestone. The Ozarks was actually carved by a receding sea. You actually drive down into the Ozarks and not up into the Ozarks. You guys probably are at a higher elevation than we are right here. This was all carved by erosion. Basically, the Ozarks was the bottom of a sea at one time. The calcite limestone, they've actually found seashells in it. The calcite limestone is a very porous rock, so it breaks up itself, like chalk rock does. Those particles float in spring water. Sunlight gets those particles floating in the water. It causes refraction and turns the water a blue-green color. The more shallow the water is, the more clear it's going to be, like drinking water. The deeper, 10 foot or deeper, the bluest color you ever saw. Pretty blue. That's beautiful blue color. That's calcite limestone particles in the water. I told you we have rainbow trout in the creek. We stock those guys 3 or 4 times a year. We also have the Ozark bass, the sun perch, the silverfin minnow, the shad minnow, and the bottom builders are called northern hogsuckers. I like saying northern hogsuckers, so I'll tell you guys about those. Little sucker fish about this big with brown stripes. The Ozark bass, if you're familiar with fishing at all, looks like a rock bass. A rock bass is about a 10 to 11 inch fish. That's not joking, 10 to 11 inch fish. Anyhow, that guy has speckles, whereas the rock bass has stripes. The Ozark bass is only found in the White River Basin, right here in the Ozarks, nowhere else in the world. It's our own special little bass. You guys want to step out here? We can. Get a good photo of that waterfall.
Yeah.
So weddings here start off at $1,500. That's called the elope wedding. That's where we take a tram out to the parking lot. We pick up 20 guests or less, and the wedding party themselves. We throw them on the tram, we bring them out here to the chapel. We bring them inside the chapel. They get married in front of this beautiful window. They get some photos in front of the beautiful waterfall. We throw them back on the tram. We take them right back out to the parking lot. 1 hour later, the elope wedding is $1,500.
Wow.
Last fall, we had a wedding out here. There's 30 guests, 4 hours, a DJ, and 1 meal. That was $15,000. The largest wedding last year was 100 guests, 3 meals. They were here all day with the DJ. That was $26,000.
Wow. I'm taking the shot one.
Have you been to Top of the Rock?
No.
Okay, there they started $15,000. That's another one of Mr. Morris's properties.
Oh, wow.
Over there, when he had that chapel designed, he approached his architect and said, "My daughter's getting married, and she needs a beautiful chapel to get married in." His architect drew this beautiful drawing, showed it to Mr. Morris, and he goes, "Well, that's a beautiful drawing, but to make sure I like that building, let's build the building off property somewhere." So they actually built a mock-up off property somewhere. Mr. Morris saw the building. He said, "Well, that's a beautiful building. Let's put it on my golf course." They numbered it piece by piece, tore it down, moved it to the golf course, put it back together.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Morris showed up to inspect it. He's quite the perfectionist. My dad reminds me a lot of my dad. He was a finished carpenter, and finished carpenters are definite perfectionists. If you don't do the job right the first time, you'll continue to do it until you get it right. Mr. Morris is exactly the same way. So he walks around that building, inspecting it, likes everything he sees, shaking his head yes. He walks on the inside of the building, walks around, likes everything he sees, shaking his head yes. He walks up to where the groom's going to be standing, and just like this chapel, big plate glass window like this overlooking Table Rock Lake and the Ozark Mountains. He starts shaking his head no and says, "It's not going to work, boys. I can see that telephone antenna across the lake, and so will the bride and groom." They tore the building down, and we get 100 feet to the right.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
only 15,000.
Oh my goodness.
So good for him.
He's 75 years old this summer. He still has his hands right in the middle of everything. He's the boss.
The audio didn't record on this next clip. Anyways, enjoy some elk. Here's a couple pictures I took.